Broken.
1, 2, 3. Okay. We're here with Geoff after a 2-2 draw
That's correct.
with Basildon Town at the Old Spotted Dog. Here we are sitting in the seated stand. Geoff, what's your appraisal of the whole kind of match?
If I'm honest, I think we got away with a 2-2 draw. Even saying obviously we were 2-1 up with only a few minutes to go and we conceded. On the balance of the game, I thought they were probably the better team and just shaded it. I felt in the first half in particular, we took too long to get our style of play going. For various reasons, I think the defence was too deep, paying them a bit too much respect. So that means our midfield was a bit too deep, and we couldn't really deal with the rotations they were doing. And then when the ball was going into our front players, it wasn't sticking. So if you put all those in together, you're not going to build on anything, on this sort of foundation in terms of play. We went one up, and again we couldn't really impose ourselves. So we stuck in there, got to a half time, changed a few things. Just wanted to step it up really, because the tempo of the game was a bit too slow, which suited them. And really, I think if we play our top tempo with the sort of pace that we got, I don't think any of these teams can deal with us, especially with the highlight that they had. We should have exploited it more, and that's how the goal from Noah came. So overall, like I said, we will take the draw. We're still undefeated at home, but we know, and as we have done against Wormley and Hutton, I think we know what our levels are really, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign, being a promoted team.
We didn't look like that we were out of place or anything, and at all stages we took the lead and we lost the lead. How do you read the fact that we were able to lose the lead? And the second goal, their second goal, came within I think about a minute of our scoring. How would you read that?
In truth, I think it's a naivety that we're going to have to get rid of quite soon, because this is not the first time. We were 2 up against Margate, could have gone 3 up, and then they pegged us back to 2-2, and without being anywhere near us in that sort of game. So I think we need to improve on that, and that comes from communication, just being organised in our leaders, making sure that they're talking, and just being set. You've gone 2-1 up 5 minutes ago. Just get into shape, drop deeper, solidify the next 5 minutes, and then play out the rest. But we conceded straight after, so it's a naivety of us that you will get punished at this level that we weren't probably last season. But we'll learn, and like I said, it could have gone either way at the end. But like I said, we'll take the draw and then go off to Main Bacon next week.
As a game, it was well contested. It wasn't just played in midfield; it was played in the boxes as well. This is different from the other games that we've played. How would you see this? Is this the opposition comes to our ground and want to hand our asses back to us?
Yeah, to be honest, I think with them, in terms of their style of play, they're going to work to their strengths, and that's what you'll get at this level. A lot of teams that will play to their strengths. So if they've got a long throw, it's going to go in the box. Set piece is going to go in the box. They've got height in the team. They're going to test the keeper. They're going to probably look at Jack and think, we can intimidate him, we can get around him, and then we'll work off the seconds. And they will play that way for 90 minutes. They won't really change. They'll continue to play that way until mistakes happen or something drops their way, and then they'll do that. So we've got to learn that way, because when we was in the Middlesex Prem, and I liked it because a lot of the teams, their ethos was like ours, like Soma, North West London. They want to play football, so it's enjoyable to watch from both sides. But this will test you in a consistent way, like with Dino and Charlie, consistently going to have to deal with balls in the air, being roughed up by a typical traditional number 9, continuous balls, diagonal balls behind you, a lot of doing turning and running. So we've got to adjust to that sort of level and just being ready. And I think obviously once we do that, and we have done for the majority of it, but I just feel we're conceding goals on the transition, and that's because we're a bit naive, and sometimes we were too far forward. Sometimes maybe the left back has come out of position, we're not covering, or sometimes we've got too many players in attack, it's broken down cheaply, and now it's a 5-on-5. Those little things we're trying to improve on, because I feel once we sort that out, I think we'll stop conceding some of these silly goals, which I see it.
Yeah, they had that kind of element of we were desperate for the win. We committed too much. Right? But we never got caught. We got caught on a set piece. Why is it that we seem to get caught on a set piece?
I'm talking about the goal.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of concentration, I'll be honest with you, that's all it is. But you've got to remember as well, at this sort of level, they're better in the air. So sometimes it can happen, you know, you match up against someone, that person's taller than you or just moves you out of the way, and they'll get the first header, then it's dropped down and it's the second ball. So I feel like from that aspect, again, it's about maybe matching people up, you know, just organising, like, you go with that person because you're better in the air, that sort of stuff. I feel we need to do a bit quicker. I think we're a bit slow in doing those things, and that's a learning curve in this sort of league, because you will get punished. But before, maybe we could get away with it. So I think we'll be better. Get our organisers back into the team as well, and our leaders, and I think we'll be much better.
How is managing different in this league as opposed to last year?
There's quicker turnaround, so there's not much time to dwell on sort of the last result. You have to sort of have your sort of evaluations and appraisals quite quickly, see where we went wrong, see what we did right, and then change it quite quickly. Because like, if you've got a Saturday, Tuesday turnaround and then a Saturday again, you know what I mean, you can't be dwelling on what's happened Saturday. Even if it was a terrible performance, you've got to get the lads up, you've got to get them ready for the Tuesday game, and sometimes obviously we won't train in between then as well. So from that aspect, it's a quicker turnaround. Also, we've got to manage the players better. There'll be sometimes we will rotate the squad, because just fatigue. I mean, a lot of the players have been conditioned to play one game a week. Now it's 2 games a week constantly, so we need to condition them a bit better warm downs and stuff in training. Sometimes it'll be about more of a recovery session, so we don't pick up any injuries, because like Tuesday night was an example, we had like 4 injuries, you know, enforced changes that we didn't want to make. So from that aspect it's good, but well, for the positives, as I said, it's constant games, a lot of games. Players always want to play games, you know, they don't rather train, they'd rather play. So from that aspect it's good, and obviously we're pitting ourselves against managers you would think are maybe better, more qualified. So, you know, the tactical aspect of it is always good, and obviously we're learning as we're going along as well. So from that aspect it's good, and much better, I'll be honest with you, than what we left.
On another note, I mean, the ground. Today we have a meeting about what we're going to do with the warehouse and what we're going to build. You've been here right at the beginning, Geoff. You know, how does this fire you up and energise you about what's coming next?
It's like a new beginning. Like I said, once we got into the ground, that was our number one objective. You know, once we started the club, was to getting us back here, and just seeing it from what it used to be, because I was obviously pre-2018 of what the pitches used to be and the sort of the conditions, and seeing people look forward to games and coming here and seeing what the ceiling is so high for what the club can do now in terms of obviously our community engagement with the warehouse, and obviously that's very important to our ethos of why people buy into the club. So for me, it's sometimes you stand back and just, as I said, you look at the view and you think, wow, this is what we've done, but there's so much more to do and so much more to come.
Okay. And did the patch up mend on the showers work?
It did. So myself and Sharon was in yesterday, and Jack as well. So
there's a video on this, by the way.
Yeah, it is. We need to send you the updated one. So no, it's worked so well. But that's us in it. That's us in a nutshell. You know what I mean? We're doesn't matter where the players. You know, we're volunteers as well at any given time. So coming in, giving up our time, sort of like help out with the showers or anything. The club, what we can do, we'll try our best, and that's what the club's about. You know what I mean? Okay. It doesn't matter if we're high, you know, low. It doesn't matter. We're all at the same level, and we're all here to help.
Yeah. Coming back to this league, it's the start, and we're only in the second week of August.
Exactly.
But the expectations are high from the management and the players. You sense this from the players that they could have done better.
Yeah, because I think it stems back from pre-season, and I specifically put a pre-season program together of us playing sort of higher quality or higher teams in the pyramid, to know that, you know, if you can contest and do well against those teams, you should be able to compete at sort of step 6 level. So, and because of that, and because we know what we're capable of, you know, like since Margaretbury, sorry, so we know sometimes what levels what we can do. So there'll always be a sense of disappointment in a game like this, where if we've not been played off the park, or or a team is absolutely dominant, we feel we could have nicked it. And like I said, 2-1 up 5 minutes ago, you're going to be disappointed really, because you just see it out. Even if it's deserved or not, it's football sometimes. You know, you take your luck as it goes along. So expectations will be there. You know what I mean? We had this sort of like a internal sort of point sort of target that we had. We're well on course for that at the moment, and then we'll see where we can go from there, because it's still early doors, as you said. Teams are settling themselves. A lot of teams will change during the season, lose their best players. Other players will join some other teams in this league, so it's going to be sort of a bit of mayhem up until sort of probably November, December time, and then it sort of like settle itself, and you can see where you are in the league and what your expectations are.
Okay, Geoff, last question. You played on this pitch. You now see it today. What do you think?
It's never been better. It's never been better. Even pre-season, when it used to be.
Come on, Paul, you're going to turn the camera around just to show the pitch.
It's never been better, and it's testament, as I said, to the volunteers who come in on a daily basis, weekly basis, the grounds committee, and everyone that helps out with the sort of like the clear ups on a weekly basis, to keeping the pitch in this condition, because that's the key. You know, a lot of pitches will look like this right now, but come October, November time, they're terrible because there's no maintenance of it. So we have to give credit to all the people that are, you know, volunteers and helping to maintain this pitch, because it helps us play a brand of football as well. You know what I mean? If the pitch wasn't flat or is bobbly, we'd have to adapt our game, being a home team. So yeah, always a pleasure to play in there.
Yes, so we'll end with the stew statement.
That's it.
What are we going to do?
Oh, we're always going to go again.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thanks.